When we talk about the drought in Gaint and the environs, one may imagine a highly degraded land, rough and dead-dune terrains, or a very hot desert with sand. But this is not the case in Gaint, though Gaint was hard hit by drought for many years. The residents have begun to live on emergency food aid in recent times. Despite the wide arable land in the area, our dependency on rain-fed agriculture and backward agricultural practice are major obstacles to increase productivity. Some people say that Gaint was known by surplus production, but things have changed and it's now grouped as one of Ethiopia's drought-prone areas. The wide arable agricultural land could not give production due to the recurrent drought. Those compatriots who could not produce because of the recurrent drought cut down trees and bushes for market to generate income. This indeed has an adverse effect on the forest and the environment. The residents of Gaint mention two things are the reason for their food insufficiency. The first reason is the unseasonal rain that eroded the land. Lack of awareness about environment protection among the rural community affected the soil fertility. Soil protection mechanisms such as terracing and flood prevention are not well practiced. On the other hand, the absence of rain, especially in the main harvest season, is cited as a second reason. This indeed affected the rain-fed agriculture and they failed to increase productivity due to the ever-changing weather condition. As a result, the residents of Gaint locality are forced to live on emergency food. Some humanitarian organizations or development organizations extend their support to the community. Most of these organizations depend on providing emergency relief than focusing on sustainable development endeavors. Cognizant of this fact, the Organization for Rehabilitation and Development in Amhara, or ORDA, has intervened in Gaint and its environs with a view to ensure sustainable development of the people. ORDA has a vision and a mission to lift the people of the Amhara region from the bogey of poverty. ORDA has actively participated in various development endeavors, such as water conservation, environmental protection, afforestation, disaster prevention and rehabilitation, as well as HIV/AIDS prevention and control, activities by mobilizing the community to realize food insecurity as well as alleviate the deep-rooted poverty in the region.
ORDA's major target is to alleviate poverty, ensure food security at household level, as well as sustainable development in the Amhara region. This is our mission and it means a lot. Unless we ensure food security and curb the deep-rooted poverty, we may not survive as a nation. Poverty and food self-insufficiency are threats for our survival. We need to address this problem. We have no secured life. Many of our fellow compatriots are living below a poverty line. Unless the people mobilize to reverse the situation, we could not realize development in a sustainable manner, and we could not cope up with the developed nations. ORDA made close assessment on the magnitude of the problem in this locality and carried out awareness creation activity among the community by way of solving the problems, and it has put forth various measures to reverse the situation by introducing its integrated development program. Rehabilitating poverty-stricken compatriots is ORDA's priority.
Raising awareness and increasing their participation is high in its agenda. By integrating emergency relief with multifaceted development programs, ORDA is widely engaged in raising public awareness in the ongoing development efforts.
ORDA has close to 192 relief storages and distribution centers in Amhara regional state, and the organization considers two things as requirements to apportion the food aid. The most important point is to save the lives of drought-hit citizens, and the second point is realizing sustainable development. Sustainable development could be realized in a continuous awareness creation activities and by integrating relief aid with development schemes. For instance, as you observed in your visit, the soil and water conservation, afforestation, and potable water construction are all development endeavors done through incentives provided by ORDA in money or in kind. ORDA does not provide free relief food, and the relief is always integrated with development schemes. The needy rehabilitate their own land by terracing, and they would benefit. All of our emergency relief centers integrate relief aid with development schemes. Otherwise, ORDA would spend the fund and the food aid it obtains from donors on emergency aid, which is impossible. If it seized the relief food, the people would die of hunger. ORDA's mission and vision is to bring a profound change in the lives of the farmers by effectively utilizing and conserving the land and water resources.
ORDA devises soil rehabilitation activities to increase soil fertility through various soil conservation mechanisms. The wide arable agricultural land in Gaint has a huge potential if appropriate soil conservation mechanisms are introduced. In this regard, the ORDA carried out soil extensive water conservation activities. The chain of terraces extended across the hills and the valleys which decorated the scenery are the footprints of ORDA in Gaint. Those highly eroded agricultural lands are well treated by the check dams, soil terraces and other flood prevention mechanisms so as to regain their fertility. The farmers protect the soil conservation terraces from the damage. ORDA widely introduced soil conservation mechanisms in Gaint. The check dams and the chain of terraces and other environmental protections mechanisms can easily catch the attention in Gaint. Though various donors made effort to construct some terraces that could not last long. But these days, the farmers know the benefit of the soil conservation schemes and protect them as their own properties. The farmers not only protect the terraces, but also they build new ones by their own will.
The construction of terraces has great importance. First of all, the land, which has no terrace, was easily eroded. But now we have terraces to protect our soil. We can harvest crops or horticultural products. If the soil is not protected, we cannot produce. Before the construction of these terraces, the soil was easily eroded by rainwater or running water, and we suffered a lot. But now we know the benefit. ORDA taught us how to construct terraces. If there is rain or water, we can produce, and we need to produce because we cannot always depend on food aid.
The Organization for Rehabilitation and Development in Amhara, ORDA, accords a high priority to awareness-raising trainings among the public to enable them lead the projects by themselves. A representative of ORDA in this locality believes that the fund for the execution of various projects in this locality is obtained from CARE Ethiopia.
Lay Gaint ወረዳ አመልድ ፕሮጀክት ቤት በውሃና መሰረተ ልማት
In Lay Gaint Warada, various infrastructure development works, including potable water access, irrigation scheme, water harvesting and drip irrigation are underway because the locality is a drought-prone area. In addition, the construction of rural gravel roads, which link the rural qabeles and the town, are going operational.
ORDA believes that raising awareness and public participation are vital to tackle the problems in this locality in a sustainable manner Cognizant of this fact, ORDA obtained the fund from the CARE Ethiopia and carried out various projects to enable the community to be food self-sufficient and increase productivity as well as protect the environment at Gaint. Regarding soil conservation, raising awareness among the farmers is the focus of attention.
Terracing was practical earlier, but we did not know how to mend or reconstruct it. We could not protect the soil from erosion. But now, ORDA helped us and we have a good terrace here. Recently, on June 24, there was a heavy torrential rain, but the soil was not eroded. And I hope if I cultivate, I will get a good harvest.
The erratic rain may fall or may fail, and the farmers in Gaint suffer a lot because they are highly dependent on rain-fed agriculture. Sometimes it comes or fail, and it's so difficult to get good harvest in the absence of the rain. In this connection, ORDA devised a sustainable solution for such problems. ORDA practiced water harvesting schemes and demonstrate how to collect rainwater in boreholes or water wells to use for dry season. So water wells were not now widely practiced in Gaint and the environs, and ORDA has introduced water harvesting and reinforced environmental protection activities to achieve food security at the household level. Those farmers who engaged in water harvesting activity say that they are highly encouraged to ensure food security and see the better future.
I have water well and I am confident to overcome the challenge, and my family will see a better life in the near future. I know this before I was engaged in this activity. There is scarcity of water here. The rain comes in the month of September. When we planted cabbage, it was affected by pests and we also suffered from absence of rain. But if I have a water well, I could cultivate more. I learned from ORDA that I could produce onion and get a good profit to improve my family's life. We are happy to have water well because we are saved from migration. I dug this water well to irrigate my farm. I cultivate vegetables like cabbage, lettuce, onion and others. ORDA has constructed this water well for me. I'm sure I could change my family's life and I effectively utilize the water for drip irrigation. The market is good and I would also take to the market in the environs. ORDA also believed that increasing public participation and partnership of the government and other development forces play key roles in development, and these needs to be accorded a special attention. Let's see the situation in Gaint and the environs. ORDA's Lay Gaint project office obtained the fund for the execution of these development endeavors from USAID and CARE Ethiopia. They are our partners. We have carried out development activities in these 7 qabeles in collaboration with donor agencies. Indeed, we consider the public as a major development force and the government rural development offices are the other partners. We obtained professionals also and some facilities from the government offices while we devised this project. The people and the government are committed to enhance the execution of the projects. The public actively participates in the designing and the implementation of the projects. Water harvesting is part of the water conservation and development activities devised by the project office. The Water Resource Development Scheme includes water harvesting, and the community would collect the cramped rain for the dry season to irrigate the land. In the 3 basin development, we have carried out 5 water harvesting projects and they would be finalized this year. We will collect rainwater in cramped season to cultivate vegetables in Baga the coming year.
As things on the ground show that the farmers have the capability to improve their living with vegetables that they grow in their backyard using the water harvesting methods.
When we say surface water and soil conservation, we do margins that protect soil and moisture. These are done in and out of farms. Some of them are useful for individual farm, while others are introduced on common farmlands. For example, we build half-moon, mountain terraces and contour terraces with plantation activities. In common farms, we also make soil and stone terraces and other mechanisms. We also make gully control canals with a view to control the flow of water. In connection to this, there are other activities undertaken in order to improve farming through upgrading soil fertility and its water absorption capacity, like preparation and application of compost and transplanting trees and grass and protection of the naturally grown grass. We do this even better at our Ibannat Bilisa project.
Among the new agricultural technology with ORDA introduced to the residents of Gaint is drip irrigation. Alongside the soil and the water conservation, wise use of scarce water is being widely practiced across the area where the technology has been introduced. Farmers who were relying to build water harvesting wells in their yards have now engaged in another competition to share the results of drip irrigation.
In this fiscal year, we have introduced dripping in 10 selected rural areas located far from water sources. Some have started production and even there are people who are selling vegetables. These are encouraging results in drip irrigation. Owner of this drip irrigation was not at home when we went for camera shooting, but we met his neighbor and he told us that he regrets that unlike his neighbor, he couldn't benefit from the drip irrigation. He said, "My neighbor has earned about 5,000 birr from this garden this year. He sells carrot, green pepper and cabbage. I suppose that he earns more than 5,000 birr. Please give me the plastic and the tanker."
ORDA Gaint project chose this farmer's farmyard for two reasons: the farmer's industriousness and his sensitivity to technology, as well as to set examples to others, as his house is located on the roadside. Indeed, the tanker has attracted attention of many of the farmers as well as residents of the town. Another beneficiary of the drip irrigation project told us that the system is more preferable, though he started to use it only 2 months ago.
It is ORDAs that made it for use. They told us to do it this way. We're working on it, hoping that it will help us. We have not seen the benefit. However, it's easy to guess what the result could be. If the market becomes good, it yields money. I will buy dairy cows with the money I get by selling these onions. I have a plan to extend my work by installing other drip irrigation on another place. ORDA gave me the equipment and its experts pay a frequent visit to me so as to show how it works. It is possible to produce marketable goods. It is surprising.
በመስኖ ልማት ስራ የተለያዩ የመስኖ ቴክኖሎጂ አማራጮችን በተለይ እነዚህ
We are engaged in introducing alternative irrigation technologies like river harnessing and water harvesting and new technologies like drip irrigation. Especially in our river harnessing works, which we undertook in collaboration with ESRDF, we have achieved encouraging results. We started drip irrigation recently, but we have the plan to expand it in Wadla, Ibannat Bilisa. We are especially satisfied with the work in Sakota, where the farmers have widely used it to improve their lives.
There at Gaint, where people are engaged in competition for construction of water harvesting schemes, we have paid a visit to another kabale. Before getting this water harvesting scheme, Wezero Bayenech has been producing vegetable with a small water containing pit she dug and has earned some money. While we enter her compound, her husband was not there, but she told us her future plans. She has earned some money with the water she collected by herself. Now Oda has built her a bigger one. She says she plans to produce more and save money and build a big factory.
Carrot, shunkurт, shunkurт, kaisar.
With this drip irrigation, we produce cabbage, carrot, onion, salad and tomato. We started it wishing to grow up and bring about change. If we work hard and succeed in collecting money, we have a plan to open a factory. It protects us from diseases that could result from consuming vegetables. We can also serve our children with additional food. It can also protect us from diseases. In the future, we have plans to use half of our produces at home and the remaining for market so that we can collect money to improve our house.
One of the various efforts exerted by the ORDA to reclaim the productivity of the land and ensure food security among the people of Gaint is river water harnessing. Small-scale irrigation schemes are planned to Gaint in Damot Mariam Kabale, located near the Guna mountain chains basin. Conservation works and small-scale irrigation are being finalized. The Gabion wire box in check dams and the stone bands have stopped the sweeping away of soil by flood, which flows down from the mountains. ORDA has found out a solution for River Korofta with the financial support of Care Ethiopia. Previously, River Korofta was not thought even for drinking, but now, after conserving and harnessing this water, it's assisting the local community development activities. Now, Korofta is expected to irrigate about 20 hectares of land.
በዚህ አመት ፕላን ተደርጎ የተያዘው አንድ የመስኖ ልማት ነው። ይሄውም በቀበሌ 4 ወይም ጥጥራ ቀበሌ የሚባል
Each year, we executed one irrigation development under this project. This is undertaken in Titra or Kabale 4. At Damot village, the construction of diversion water is over, while the canal is under construction. It is believed to cultivate 22 hectares of land. It's expected to benefit 40 to 50 households. Due to financial constraints, it's too difficult to build cemented water harvesting for the people of Gaint. Then, ORDA has come up with another choice. It has dispatched plastic water harvesting containers where there is no irrigation.
Whenever we passed through, we saw water harvesting ponds that are already constructed or one under construction. This explains ORDA's strenuous effort towards enabling the people become self-sufficient and lift them out of poverty. All of the farmers we met assure that they can at least cover their daily food consumption by water harvesting and using it economically.
Our vision bases on this principle. In order to extricate our people and our nation from food insecurity and poverty, due attention should be given to sustainable development that gives multifarious benefits to the people. One of the areas that ORDA has given priority to is disaster prevention and rehabilitation. We have to help the people become self-sufficient in food production. The region is endowed with rich developmental resources. It is populated by industrious people. The labor of its people is a strong basis for development. What we have in bulk is a labor and land. In our current situation, we can use it for our development.
Road construction has taken the largest share of all activities of ORDA. It's now engaged in linking peasant associations with Warada centers here in Gaint. During the current year's program, road and paths have gone operational. The construction of road has a great significance for the residents of Gaint to transport logs, which are their major livelihood. Previously, they faced a lot of trouble while moving. A group of people used to carry logs to the market.
The road will help us deliver patients to hospital and transport seedling to market. We can move from place to place as much as we want. Even if we fail to get vehicles, we won't face any problems like before. The road is suitable for us to move on horseback and transport goods on board animals. The roads that ORDA has constructed so far are very minimal as compared to its total plan. However, they are offering a lot of importance to the residents. The areas where ORDA has been engaged in are those that have been given no attention by the government and other development organizations. They are located very far from road. They are also severely hit by drought. It manipulates the people's labor, which is assisted by support from donors that comes in the form of wages, grain and materials. In most of our projects, the roads are the ones which minimize the problem of crossing rivers and hills.
The major implementing tools of ORDA for its activity in Gaint are the labor of the local people. The secret behind for its success is a continuous education and training. It integrates aid with development by convincing the people that they are the prime beneficiaries of the development. ORDA has done tremendous jobs in emancipating the people from dependency and ensuring continued development works through using aid as an incentive. ORDA is also engaged in involving mothers in development works by rehabilitating them from malnutrition in feeding centers. Although we could not come across mothers and children feeding centers, we have seen a beautiful hut here in Kase village, which is built for this purpose. Alongside feeding centers, also trains mothers and family planning and preparing disease-preventing food. Farmers also say that they learned how to revise agricultural products. Among beneficiaries of some training, we have talked to a lady who has achieved a lot of change from the training by preparing compost at home.
The home economists told me that there is earthen stove and compost. Last time, I tried to sow oilseed and teff on my land, but it failed to yield. I also tried to enrich my land with compost I prepared by myself. It yielded me only 2 sacks of grain. Then ORDA taught me how to prepare compost. It showed me how to bury, and I buried dung and other things with my friend and neighbor. We also collected leaves and buried them to make compost. We found the improved stove. I can now bake injera and make coffee. I use minimum fuel for cooking, and this means I can make everything with limited fuel.
The Gaint area is suitable for cattle breeding. Hence, ORDA has prepared ponds that would be helpful for watering cattle of those who aspire to engage in it. Upon going operational, the big water harvesting scheme in Kase village is believed to be a big solution for the existed shortage of water for cattle in the area. The pond, the construction of which started at the beginning of this summer, has a capacity to hold 3 million liters of water.
Though we say that we have done all these jobs, they are really executed by the beneficiaries themselves. While planning development works, discussions are held with the beneficiaries as to their needs and what they could contribute for the job. The people then announce their contribution and what they need the government to do for them. Then the people participate with labor, while sector officers also perform what is expected of them. Government bodies also undertake periodic monitoring and assessment. The people also execute the development projects from the inception up to the implementation. ORDA has been staging strong anti-poverty struggle in Gaint area, which has fallen prone to drought in same way as arid areas. The activities of introducing new agriculture technologies, including soil and water conservation, yield a lot of satisfaction to ORDA and its major financial partner, CARE Ethiopia.
ORDA's effort in integrating aid and development depicts why the government and NGOs' activities in the area failed to fruit and set example for their future activities. The promising signal of ORDA's success is emancipating Gaint from dependency are the industrious farmers.